Hello and welcome to BattleBots Armageddon Season 2. I hope you watched last week's episode, and if you didn't, you should check it out because there were a lot of action-packed fights with legendary robots such as Sawblaze, Bite Force, Lockjaw. Everyone's here this season. But let's focus on this week. We have a stacked fight card this week, and it is going to be juicy. We have all sorts of really cool dream matchups going on here. We have a fight between Valkyrie taking on the seemingly unbreakable Duck. We have another old versus new matchup, Overkill facing off against Retrograde. And we even have some newcomers with Vanguard and Dragon Slayer. All of this leads up to our main event, which is Tombstone facing off against Bloodsport. A horizontal showdown that I'm sure many a fan are pining for, and so are we. I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous. But let's start off the night with Jackpot facing off against Hydra. Another dream matchup, if I do say so myself. Hydra is back after a pretty impressive run last season, going 3-1 in the Fight Night formula, and then making the quarterfinals after taking out Bite Force. Surely a robot to watch this season, and its brand new design. It looks even sleeker than before. It can still flip real high. I'm looking forward to seeing this new iteration of Hydra, and I think it could make waves, but it has to get past this very scary, large vertical spinner of Jackpot, making its Robot Arena 2 debut. The big, scary spinner themed after Las Vegas. They're hoping to win big with this fight, and if they get a good bite on Hydra, they very well could. And there's only one way that we can figure this out, so let's take it to the arena. We have Jackpot facing off against Hydra. Matchup that I've definitely always wanted to see, and now I get to see it.
Definitely two of the lowest competitors in the field.
Struggling to get underneath. Oh, flip from Hydra to start off the fight. This is, I mean, it could go either way, really, because Jackpot gets a few hits with that spinner. Things could go very south for Hydra. Up to see. And Jackpot looks like it might be stuck. Is Hydra going to help it out? And, oh, it looks like it is with a big flip.
Big throw there, timing that flipper with Jackpot trying to right itself. Sent it all the way to the ceiling of the BattleBots. These two now continuing to swing at each other. Hydra still trying to get under Jackpot's side.
Throwing Jackpot into the wall, and Jackpot just, fortunately, they're struggling because of how low Hydra is. They just can't seem to get underneath. They get a good hit on them, and there's Hydra flipping them around again. Got stuck on back, having a hard time self-righting.
Jackpot almost in some sort of insane stance, almost like a fighting game, coming at Hydra now.
This isn't You Got Served. This is BattleBots Armageddon Season 2.
Right, you are. For no amount of head spins or damp move, there's no style points here.
There's style points, but if Jackpot would definitely get one.
Jackpot would definitely be winning, and they just rip the spatula off of Hydra flipper on that exchange.
Yeah, it's doing some damage. Oh, good credit where credit's due. But then there's stuff like that where they go flying, and I think that's going to look better to the judges than, you know, doing some minor damage.
Certainly, Hydra needs to be careful.
I don't even know if Jackpot has any control in this fight so far, and there's only a minute left. Maybe like 1 point, but difficult to say.
No, Hydra certainly needs to be careful now at this stage of the game. The last thing they wanted Jackpot to land on top of them upside down spinner first.
Yeah, that could ruin Hydra's day. And so far, they're definitely ahead in this fight, but I guess we'll have to see where... Oh, Hydra using its butt to push Jackpot into the wall to try to kill its spinner.
Great driving there on Hydra.
Definitely. Hydra is driving this fight very well, because without good driving, this would probably be a very different fight.
Certainly. Hydra been very quick on the driving, very intelligently driven, takes it to the wall. almost gets Jackpot out of the arena. 15 seconds left to play now. Jackpot running away from Hydra, whether intentional or not.
Yeah, they're just grinding up the floor with 5 seconds left. I think this is going to go to the judges. There really wasn't much that Jackpot could do in this fight. Hydra just proved how important the ground game can truly be, and they just kind of controlled the whole fight, getting underneath Jackpot, pushing him around, even getting some nice flips. Jackpot spent a lot of the fight on his back, unfortunately, but that spinner is definitely nothing to take lightly. But that said, neither is Hydra's flipper, apparently. However, this fight definitely did go the 3 minutes, so we will be judging this based on our 17-point judging criteria. And it appears that the judges have come to a unanimous decision. And the winner of this fight is Hydra. I'm not really surprised there. I think Jackpot showed some potential, but I think that they need to work on the ground game if they want to win this competition. Hydra moves on to 1-0, getting another great start to a second season. Can they go further this year? It's definitely possible, but we're moving on to the next fight, which is another Team Waiachi robot in Fusion taking on Smee. Now, both of these robots are very unique, but look at Fusion with its dual weaponry, with its vertical spinner and horizontal spinner. It has both, and that's definitely a good way to counter the configuration game for sure. This is Fusion's debut in Armageddon and Robot Arena 2, so they definitely have a lot to prove, but so do their opponent. We have Smee, which is a long boy with 4 horizontal undercutters in it, and it's just like an unbeatable wall, it feels like. But I don't really know who to predict in this because both of these robots have so much potential. So let's figure it out for ourselves and take it to the box. We have Smee and we have Fusion. 2 very unique designs here.
Definitely 2 very special robots here.
They're very
Let's
special.
see who gets the upper hand. 2 very unique designs. Definitely one of a kind. You got the dual spinners on Fusion, and you got the quad spinner on Smee. It's a wall, really.
Oh,
it is
yeah,
Smee.
Wall of spinners, and it looks like Fusion is unfortunately at a disadvantage right now, and looks like they already lost a wheel. I don't know how much further they can go in this one, but Smee is just taking it to them, ripping people off left and right.
A piece of missing from a couple of Smee's spinner, but I don't know if it's going to cause too much of an issue, given just how many of them they have.
Oh yeah, I think they have enough in their arsenal that they should be good. Oh, they took another wheel off. Fusion just knocks its wheel away like it's a hockey puck.
Yeah, Smee. I bet they wish they could, or rather Fusion wish that they could knock Smee away like a hockey puck. It get pinned into the corner here.
Oh, more wheels coming out. Does Fusion even have wheels anymore is the question. I mean, it's hard to tell because I think the off-balance spinners are causing it to just like move around. And it looks like Fusion is fun.
Yeah, it looks like Smee has cut the legs directly out from underneath Fusion.
And he's out. What more do you say about this fight? This just proves that Smee is truly a difficult opponent to approach. They just kept controlling Fusion, pushing him into walls, knocking pieces off of him. Truly an impressive performance, and if Smee keeps his momentum up, they could make a big name for themselves in this competition. But everything leads up to our next fight, which is a Retro Robot versus Retrograde. We have Overkill, Retrograde, 2 very different robot types, and I think this is going to be a fun matchup. Let's take a look at these bots. First off, we have Overkill, truly a legend in the sport of BattleBots. A robot that really hasn't been around in recent years. It's an older design, it's about 20 years old, and it's very prolific with that big scary knife and its legendary wedge. And it didn't compete last season, but it did compete in one exhibition fight where unfortunately it lost pretty badly. But this year they're looking for some redemption. They're looking to fully compete and actually make the title finally after so many close calls in other competitions. They're facing off against Retrograde, which is a B-team sort of bot to the team that created Bloodsport, and they're definitely a robot with a lot of potential with their lifting arm and their undercutter. That undercutter absolutely can hit too, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this fight goes. Lots of people say that Overkill is the spinner killer, but can it kill this spinner? Let's find out. We have Retrograde, we have Overkill. Another one of our classic old versus new matchups. My favorite kind of matchup. Overkill with its big obnoxious blue wheels and so I know one obnoxious blue wheel. And
the blade is gone.
No blade, yep. Okay, so Retrograde is like down, they're breakdancing.
Overkill looking like how Mjolnir usually look by the end of its fights.
Oh yeah. And
got no weapon. Only got a wheel. Retrograde can't even ride itself. There we go.
They ride itself, so now they gotta capitalize on this because Overkill is not in a good place for sure.
Totally not. Overkill
is still getting under him and pushing him around a little bit.
Overkill trying to protect that one wheel the best they can.
That's all they can really hope to do. Oh, there's a hit from Retrograde.
Overkill trying to keep its weapon cylinder. You see it swinging there, but it's not swinging anything.
Like
that blade is long gone. Darts hit to the wedge there.
Retrograde just gonna play with its food now. Oh, I think they are.
Retrograde trying to bring the forks into play now.
You gotta show what you're made of when you have an opportunity like this, I suppose. And the fight is halfway over, and it's not looking good. It hasn't looked good for Overkill for like a minute. No, now
there goes the other wheel. Okay. All Retrograde really needs to do now is just leave it. I think they're trying to get Overkill over the wall, but they need to be careful not to accidentally ramp up it and go over the wall themselves. It'd be embarrassing to lose this fight at this stage.
At this point, either I think they want to get an UDA or they want to get a control board KO, which I mean either or could happen. No, it looks like they're getting counted out.
I think they're definitely trying to get Overkill or what's left of Overkill over the wall.
And he's
but it's
out.
not going to be enough.
Overkill really tried. They tried to wedge Retrograde into the wall, but unfortunately those big exposed wheels proved to be its weakness very early on, losing one of them and losing the blade right away as well. But they still tried and attempted to do something, but having only one wheel against a control bot, that's not going to do too well. Plus the second wheel got ripped off pretty soon after. But that means that Retrograde starts at 1-0 and Overkill has to reevaluate what they're doing for this season. But that's okay because we're on to our next fight, which is a fight I'm very excited for. We have Mad Catter facing off against Blip. Now Blip is new to the world of Robot Arena too, but that flipper is definitely nothing to scoff at. It's very powerful, and in the real world it's definitely proven to be a force to be reckoned with. It's facing off against Mad Catter, who didn't have a lot of success last season. It won a few fights, but it didn't make the bracket or anything. But last season they also were a hammer bot, and now they're a vertical spinner with a lifting arm, which I think will help with the meta a lot more. But there's only one way to find out. We're gonna go to the box and they're gonna duke it out. Blip versus Mad Catter. Two very iconic robots for sure.
Absolutely, two very aggressive robots as well, immediately chasing each other around the arena.
Catter getting under Blip. Can Blip get under Mad Catter though? That's a big question. Oh, yeah, that was an opportunity for Blip, but they fumbled it, I feel.
A lot of speedy driving already being performed. Blip forced onto it back multiple times there. Gets right back up. Mad Catter immediately back under it.
Oh, there's a flip from Blip. Okay, Blip could turn this around now.
Good flip. There's another one.
Oh, Blip and a miss. I think that was Blip's big opportunity. Now Mad Catter comes around and just has his way, I guess. Ooh, goes over and avoids the flip. That's definitely some good driving from Mad Catter. Ooh, and a wheel comes off.
A wheel from Blip. Blip needs to be very careful close to that wall. Mad Catter had the power to get it up and over.
Yep, but on the other hand, Blip gets underneath. All they really need is an out of the arena for Mad Catter to not be able to get back in, and they could secure this fight. But at this rate, I don't. Oh, and there's another wheel.
Another wheel gone from Blip. And double stacked tires on each corner.
Wise decision on Blip's part for sure, especially fighting a scary vertical spinner like Catter. Mad Catter's now struggling.
Blip might have its opportunity here.
Blip's
Run
underneath.
for it. Go for it again.
Blip needs to get better at timing that flipper, I feel. Around. Ooh, there's a flip. Can they turn around? Oh, there we go. That's the juice that we're talking about. A little under a minute left.
Blip now just tossing Mad Catter around.
But Blip is smoking, so I feel like it's probably slightly in Mad Catter's favor, but opposed to judges can determine that if no one gets a kill shot in the next 35 seconds.
Absolutely. And Blip now needs to be careful. Mad Catter is breaking for that flipping panel on Blip. Could be left stranded completely upside down if it gets taken out.
Yep. Oh, Blip doing a nice little like flip to avoid getting hit again. That doesn't do much because here 5 seconds left, and I think this is going to go to the judges.
Mad Catter now.
It's over. This fight certainly had a bit of back and forth, but I feel like most of it was controlled by Mad Catter. Blip seemed to struggle a lot with getting underneath, and when Mad Catter started plucking some wheels off, I think that unfortunately, besides some of the flips that Blip may have gotten, I think that this was more or less Mad Catter's fight, and it will go to the judges on the 17-point judging criteria. And we have reached a unanimous decision in favor of Mad Catter. Not too surprised there. But Mad Catter moves on to 1-0, and Blip starts off with 0-1, but they can always bounce back. These robots are getting at least 4 fights apiece, so there's still hope out there. But we have our next fight coming up. We have the massive force versus the immovable object, or so it seems. We have Valkyrie and Doug. Both of these robots are returning from last season, but both of them definitely had their struggles. Neither one really even came close to making the bracket. I believe Valkyrie only won 1 fight last season. And I think that this fight will be a lot different, however, because both of these robots are redesigned. They're better designs. You know, we have Valkyrie with its better weapon and better control. We have Duck with its better lifter. I think that we're gonna be in for a treat here, because what's better than a spinner killer versus a big, scary horizontal spinner? I don't know, but this is gonna be great. Let's do this. We have Duck and Valkyrie. Deadly spinner versus seemingly invincible brick. Duck drives into the wall.
Duck, famously known for its durability to spinners.
And it looks like they got the control going too, so that's definitely net positive. Duck's having a good start, even if pieces are already starting to come off of them. Definitely. Well, Valkyrie is a scary spinner, right? They definitely do have a problem with staying under control. That's kind of the horizontal. Duck is flipped upside down, but they stay upright. Ooh, nice hit from Valkyrie there. Kill Valkyrie spinner with its booty. Oh, and Valkyrie rips off one of the wheels.
That is not good for Duck. But we have seen Duck. He can survive basically anything. Can drive under any circumstance.
Yeah.
And it is always moving forward. And right now it is doing that to Valkyrie, trying to get it up and over the wall here.
As long as they don't go down to 0 wheels. Yeah, the tail fin's going out. Oh, this is some old-fashioned animal cruelty. And ooh, a big piece of Duck comes off.
That's the rear plate out of Duck.
Looking good. I mean, they're definitely controlling this fight, but can they survive this fight is still a question. I mean, if they survive it, they might have a good shot because they're definitely way ahead in control, at least in my opinion. Oh, and Duck gets a nice lift there of Valkyrie.
Duck, I imagine, has won the control category, at least up to this point. But the question is if that will outweigh the damage. Certainly have been more aggressive. That's engaged more contacts.
Now Valkyrie is just chilling on his side. Oh, and Duck takes advantage and makes it go up in the air. Duck just keeps going at it. Quack. We are at 30 seconds on that. Oh, almost out of the arena.
They're aiming at the wall.
Half a minute remaining. Duck might end up surviving this and taking this to the judges. But Valkyrie getting some good hits on Duck there. Duck's looking like it's slowing down, unfortunately.
Duck's got to be very careful here. It's weak.
10 seconds left.
Valkyrie needs to end it here.
Can they do it? With 1 second left, Duck is KO'd.
Wow.
Duck truly was very aggressive in this fight, despite Valkyrie's weapon being something I personally wouldn't want to go after. They were very maneuverable and they tried their hardest, but just as time went on, unfortunately, pieces and pieces just came off of Duck, and eventually it just proved to be detrimental. Although it might have been a very different fight if Duck had lasted that 1 extra second. Valkyrie moves on to 1-0, and now we're on to our next fight with another interesting beefy control bot facing off against a spinner. We have two newbies to the world of Robot Arena 2. We have Vanguard and we have Dragon Slayer. First, let's take a look at Dragon Slayer. A very stylish looking vertical spinner, which I think looks absolutely gorgeous. This is their Armageddon debut, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. They're definitely an interesting robot for sure, and I'm excited. They're facing off against Vanguard, who's also a pretty interesting robot. It's sort of the evolution of Vanquish, and it's definitely not a robot that I would want to put a spinner up against, because it seems like it can definitely take a hit, and I think Dragon Slayer is a good way to test the waters on that. What do you think? Well, let's see. We have Dragon Slayer and we have Vanquish, two robots that are new to the world of Robot Arena 2.
Brand new machines, the beautiful lifter. Vanquish taking on with the colorful, in a way, vertical spinner of Dragon Slayer out of Texas.
Yep, UK versus Texas. War of the worlds, really. And Dragon Slayer's getting some pretty good hits on Vanquish. Vanquish has to get underneath and try to flip him, but for now, oh, there we go. That's what Vanquish.
Good head-to-head collision there. Vanquish now trying to.
Vanquish having a hard time lifting him. Figure out how to get around the spinner of Dragon Slayer. Oh, and with the flip there, they put themselves in the crossfire. Missing some flips, but Dragon Slayer is just kind of all over the place.
Dragon Slayer absolutely having a hard time keeping Dragon Slayer just on the ground long enough for them to flip it.
Flipping themselves a lot of the time, fortunately.
That shows that neither robot is specifically lower than the other. They're going nose to nose with each other. Dragon Slayer able to get under the side of Vanquish there, though. Did it again.
Hey, we're saying Vanquish. Vanguard is,
It's Vanguard, correct?
I mean, it's the same builder, same idea. Vanguard's kind of like the next evolution. Oh, a nice hit. Dragon Slayer. Oh, and a flip in the air. Let's go.
Huge. So they're from Vanguard, rather, not Vanquish.
Vanguard.
Correct.
Both of these robots are kind of guilty of causing themselves to flip over more than the opponent. Like, I feel like 2/3 of the flips in this fight. Oh! 2/3 of the flips in this fight were just caused by themselves, but Dragon Slayer lost part of its weapon. That might make them even more bouncy than they already were. Oh, and they lost another piece. On the floor. I don't know how far they'll get in the tournament with that fragile weapon, but I suppose we'll have to see.
Certainly not a good sign that it's breaking on the floor and the walls.
Yeah, 7 seconds
We're
on
down
the
to the
clock.
final 10 seconds.
I think that this fight is gonna go to the judges, and I don't envy them because that was a close one. This fight definitely had a lot of back and forth, and in my opinion, this is probably the closest fight we've had so far this season. We have Dragon Slayer getting some pretty good hits on the underside of Vanguard. Meanwhile, Vanguard also had a lot of good control moments. I think the big Achilles heel of Dragon Slayer is the fact that they don't really stay on the ground. They're a bit on the bouncy side. But that said, Vanguard was absolutely struggling as well, so I guess this will be left to the judges. Now, sometimes the 3 judges don't necessarily agree on the outcome of a fight, and that's why we have 3 of them. This time around, we have a split decision. Judge Smurf voted this battle in favor of Dragon Slayer. Judge Zaza voted in favor of Vanguard. And Judge Green Square voted for the winner, Vanguard. That one could have gone either way. Wow, what a fight. Vanguard starts its season right at a 1-0 record, but Dragon Slayer need not fret because losing a split decision isn't exactly a bad loss, so they can still bounce back. But moving forward, we have a matchup between Perfect Phoenix and Warhawk. Have Perfect Phoenix making their Robot Arena 2 debut, and it's definitely a good robot for sure. However, it is a reskin of a very old robot, so it's definitely hard to say how it will hold up in the modern day meta, but I do have some high hopes for it doing well this season. But it does have a challenge right out the gate against Warhawk, which is a robot that went 3-2 last season, just barely missing the bracket with the play-in match where it lost to Lockjaw, unfortunately. I think this fight could really go either way, and I think this will serve as a good challenge for both of these robots, and I'm looking forward to it, so let's do this. Warhawk, you have Perfect Phoenix. It's starting fast, Warhawk starting slow. It's always a bad sign. Oh, Perfect Phoenix getting around to the side to get underneath Warhawk. Very good driving on Perfect Phoenix's end.
Perfect Phoenix, as you can see, insanely quick. One of the fastest robots in the field.
All they gotta do is clip one of those wheels and it could be the end for Warhawk. Warhawk is no slouch for sure, getting 3 wins last season and just missing out on the play-in match against Lockjaw who made the semifinals, so that's something to be ashamed of. Oh, and there's a big hit from Perfect Phoenix. Be a slow start for wonderful Warhawk.
Seems to be relatively slow. The weapon motor on Perfect Phoenix is starting to smoke now. After all these weapon-to-weapon contacts.
Maybe Warhawk can bounce back from this. That'd be cool. But either way, I think both these robots are definitely very good. And Perfect Phoenix's blade gets ripped off. Okay. This could change the course for sure.
Perfect Phoenix needs to be careful here.
And they're out. Perfect Phoenix came out of the gate pretty quickly, and Warhawk definitely had a slow start, and Perfect Phoenix did show its potential by getting around to the sides and even the back of Warhawk. If they had successfully clipped a wheel, I feel this could have been a very different fight, but unfortunately, once that spinner got ripped off of Perfect Phoenix, it was pretty much lights out for them. But we got Warhawk starting off its 1-0 record once again. And now we move on to the main event, which I'm so excited for. The horizontal spinner showdown. We have Tombstone and we have Bloodsport, which this fight's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. Now, both of these robots are definitely robots that struggled in last season's Armageddon. First off, we have Bloodsport, who, they had a few good moments, but for the most part, they struggled. But Bloodsport's had a full-on redesign. It's got ground game, it's got a better weapon, it's got better driving, it's got the works, and that thing is nasty, dude. Meanwhile, we have Tombstone, who only got 1 win in the tournament last season, and it didn't even come close to making the bracket, unfortunately. That said, I think that this iteration of Tombstone is improved in pretty much every way. It can deal good damage, it's more durable, and it just drives better. I think that this will definitely be a great fight with lots of really intense weapon-on-weapon hits, and I can't wait. We have Bloodsport with Tombstone. It's time for this main event matchup. Two of the scariest horizontal spinners in the game. Oh, hit right away.
Horizontal big weapon-to-weapon shot there. Immediately, once again.
These came off. I think that was off of Tombstone. Hard to tell because both of them have red. They're both red and black.
I believe it was. It may have been the wedge lit off the left front of Bloodsport. Not sure.
Okay. Tombstone drives into a wall. That's not going to win a fight doing. Oh, they take off a piece of Bloodsport weapon. Bloodsport doesn't look unbalanced at least. Oh, there's a big Bloodsport.
Bloodsport checking for wheels.
There, Tombstone. I keep those wheels with Bloodsport. They could easily rip it off. They're ripping off pieces. Oh, ripping off pieces. There's a piece of Bloodsport that kind of flying off.
Bloodsport lost part of its self-righting pole in that exchange.
Oh, there's
still
another
mostly
big
connected
hit.
though.
Both of these robots definitely taking a beating, and this is glorious for. Oh, there.
Parts everywhere. Bloodsport's weapon is uneven now.
Big hit from Bloodsport despite the uneven. Taking advantage too. Looks like it's definitely slowed down. Oh, and they ripped out a wheel. Okay.
Wheel gone.
Tombstone bounced back from this.
Bloodsport needs to be careful here.
You have to be completely immobilized to get counted out. We're out of the arena, so Tombstone can still keep going, but for how long is the real question. Oh, they're gonna big hit Bloodsport. Oh, taking off more of the self-rider. If Bloodsport gets flipped over, it could very well be over.
Whole Streamek arm. Actually now XUR Pori. It's now Tombstone trying to face that weapon back toward Bloodsport.
Oh, it looks like Tombstone might only need to get a few more hits in it. Oh, there's a big hit. Knock more. Oh, now Bloodsport's uneven and more of their spinners are dubbing. I think Bloodsport's almost done. They're not looking good. They're losing to a one-wheeled Tombstone, and oh, they just got a crab walk, I guess. And oh, Tombstone getting into the wall and bouncing around. Oh, there's a kill shot. It's a KO for Tombstone. After watching this fight, all I can say is, wow. This might be my favorite fight of the season so far, with all the intense hits and really both robots just knocking pieces off of each other. That hit, oh my goodness. This is a fight that you could rewatch for ages. And even when Bloodsport knocked off the wheel of Tombstone kept going and eventually knocked out Bloodsport. Tombstone starts off its career with a 1-0 record, but Bloodsport at 0-1, they could bounce back. They definitely almost won this fight, so I think that there's hope for them still. But that said, that's the end of this episode of Armageddon Season 2, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next week for 8 more action-packed fights. Stay famous, y'all.